Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the grayscale trusts as well as some dividend distributions and what the hell is going on with the markets. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so we're going to start with the NASDAQ. I do not think that we're going to head lower. Again, don't quote me on this, but there is some major bullish divergence going on here that I did not want to do that. Let me get rid of these real quick. That you guys can see right here, these lower highs on the chart, but on the MACD and the RSI, we are getting the inverse move here. So what that tells me is likely at some point we're going to see a bounce. Now this level that we're currently sitting at, this is a major level, as you guys can see. The next level below that would be somewhere around 21,000. Do I think we're going to head that low? Honestly, I don't think so. So yeah, the news catalysts. Markets have not liked it lately. The FOMC minutes came out today, and they basically pretty much said the same thing that we already knew about, which was, oh, well, we think that maybe inflation might be a problem, so we may not be willing to raise rates as much this year, and the markets don't like that. And what I really don't understand is if the Fed came out and cut rates in September to say, oh, well, we want to get ahead of unemployment because we think inflation is under control, why are they just now coming out again and flipping the script? It doesn't make any sense. I think it's kind of stupid, to be honest. But look, I'm going to be real with you. I do not think this is going to age well going into the next administration. I just really highly doubt that the Fed's not just going to keep cutting rates because, again, the extenuating circumstances that are causing inflation to stay elevated or put a risk of resurgence on the table will be wiped out. They will disappear once Trump and his administration deals with all these extenuating circumstances that are causing inflation to stay elevated. Okay. I am sticking to my story on that, and I genuinely do believe it's going to happen. So I guess it's just a matter of patience and timing at this point. So Bitcoin, a little rejection here off of this channel. Again, I wasn't sure if we were going to get back into it or not, which is why I said, one or the other could happen. It appears that we are currently retesting this 92,000. We'll talk about Bitcoin in the next video. I don't want to get too deep into that right now. So I would just say for now, as long as it holds above 92,000, we're good. So let's get into the dividend distributions. And yes, it was a very sideways market today. Kind of got walloped a little bit when it comes to trading, but that is the nature of the game. Unfortunately, not every single time are things going to play out like we want them to. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the nature of the beast when it comes to being in the markets. I will say this though. These quantum stocks are starting to look a little bit more attractive. I did not think they were going to just sit up here at these highs and keep going higher forever. We're looking to maybe eventually pick some of these up, but the price has got to be right for us. And I'm just not so sure that even with this oversold signal on the 4-hourly time frame that it's the right time to actually be picking this up. I just don't think so yet, but it is interesting. I should say this. We're a little bit more interested in looking at these now than we were before. Okay. So these quantum stocks got absolutely smashed. You can see they're down minus 30, 40%. It's pretty rough, not going to lie. But after the big move they had, again, that's why I told you guys when this accumulation happens and then you see this big move appear, you always got to be willing to be ready to take profits, because if you don't take profits, somebody else probably will, and then you're going to get dumped on, and nobody wants that, right? So anyways, yeah, let's get into these dividend distributions. Okay, so this is a day late, but is what it is. Busy schedule, can't always be perfect all the time. So anyways, the YieldMax ETFs, you got YMAX here at 14 cents, YMAG at almost 16 cents, Coney at 83.3, Fiat at 65.3, MSFO 36.6, AMDY 34 cents, Nefli is at 58.3, ABNY 42.2, PYPY 42.6, and ULTY 57.1. Now, I am aware that there are newer ETFs, but we're not going to go over those. If you guys are in those, you can obviously look at that for yourself on X. I will tell you guys that we have these three right here, okay, on the top. So we have pretty large positions in all three of them, actually. Okay, so next one here, QDTE. For those of you guys that are buying the dip on any of these, look, I'll just put it to you like this: if things go the way that I think they're going to go, if you guys are buying the dip, on any stock or crypto, it doesn't matter. But for those of you guys specifically that are in these dividend paying ETFs and stocks, if you're buying the dips on these, especially at these oversold levels we're seeing on kind of the more macro scale, then I would say the upside for these is going to be pretty juicy, is what I think is going to happen. Again, I can't guarantee it, but I would give it a pretty high probability at this point. So QDTE, anyways, 18 and roughly about, yeah, we'll just call it 18 cents. Keep it simple. So about 18 cents per share. Let's see, RDTE, 20 cents on this one, or 20 and a half cents on this one. I will say this though, after the volatility we've seen recently, I think next week's payouts for these are probably going to be quite a bit larger. I would not be surprised, because the volatility this week has just been kind of ridiculous. I'm going to be honest with y'all about that. So XDTE, 19 cents. And again, keep in mind, these are per week. Okay. So next one here, GPIQ. This is the NASDAQ version for the Goldman Sachs ETF. This is roughly about 43 cents per share. Keep in mind, the share price of these usually go up over time, and the dividend distribution, not always perfectly, but it generally trends up over time as well. So, I mean, these particular ETFs have had a very, very solid performance since their inception. Okay, so which is one of the reasons why we're looking to accumulate long term on these. So GPIX is the S&P version. You guys can see about 35 cents. Again, also trends up over time, and the price generally trends up over time. All right, now on to the trusts. So the other thing I wanted to say is that the markets, the stock market anyways, is actually going to be closed tomorrow because of the former president, Jimmy Carter, passing away. I don't know if futures is actually going to be open tomorrow. Crypto is probably going to be open tomorrow because it always is. So if you guys are looking to swing trade or day trade or something like that, maybe you take a look at crypto. Otherwise, you may have to wait till Friday. So anyways, LTCN, same thing as before, 12.20 to about 18, or 12 and a quarter to about 18 and a quarter for the buy area. 27 going up to 54 for targets. And I know it hasn't gone much of anywhere. I'm well aware of that. 320% gain. Look, we're experiencing the same thing on CLSK. You guys may be like, oh, what the hell? Well, bags ain't going anywhere, man. Well, you know what? Our bags ain't going anywhere either, dude. We're all kind of in the same boat here. But look, it's basically just kind of an accumulation, pretty much. I mean, usually at the bottom of a move, when you get one of these kind of sideways moves at the bottom of a move, that's usually indicative that Wall Street and whales are accumulating, and likely the price is going to go up. Okay. And the inverse obviously is true. If you see it at the top of a move, well, maybe you should be terrified, right? But in this case, we're not at the top of a move. So BCHG, inverse head and shoulders, target for that is roughly about 14. The buy zone currently roughly about 520 to 560. Again, that's pretty much right where the price is. Those of you guys that are like, oh, well, what the hell? The price is down here, man. I want to buy that crap. Well, 5 weeks ago, y'all probably would have seen this pumping, and then you'd be like, damn, I wish I would have bought down at $5. Well, here's your chance, right? I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just telling you guys that the opportunity is there if you want it. So 12.50 to 24 for this one for targets. And again, this could very easily happen in a matter of weeks. 320% gain. You literally saw it right here, right? This candle, roughly about the same price that we're currently seeing right now, took off and did a 4, 5, 6x, whatever that is, in 4 to 5 weeks. So don't think it can't happen a second time. Okay, so HSN, it appears that we may be trying to hold this structure here. Again, we don't have confirmation on the weekly yet, so anywhere from 420 to 5 at this point, I'd say is a good buy area, with targets ranging from 810 to 1050. Keep in mind, those are just kind of short-term targets for people looking to get in and out of positions. If you're more of a swing trader, maybe take a look at our 4-hour golden cross bullish signal that we use in order to get into swing trades to the upside. Or if you're a hodler, then obviously you don't care, right? You're just looking for whatever the maximum level of profit is. We cover that in a separate video. So 146% gain here at ETCG. Yep, same thing as before. So anywhere from probably about $9.50 a share going up to $13 for a potential buy area here. Targets $18.50 to $20 for roughly about 105% gain. ETHE anywhere in this green box, so 23 and a quarter going up to 28 and a quarter, with the target being the cup and handle target up here at roughly about 53 for about 125% gain. And just to show you that cup and handle, you can see it there, the big cup, and then the handles right here, and then boom, that would be the target. So next one here, GBAT, pretty much anywhere in between these two green boxes here. I would say the bottom of the zone, since we're below it, and down to the bottom of this green box right here. So roughly about 440 to 770 ish on this one, with the target up at the highs at 32 for potentially as high as 680%. FILG did absolutely nothing on the day, so that's interesting. 62 to 65 is the current buy area, with a target of 400 for about a 565% gain. GLIV, another inverse head and shoulders pattern here. These usually have a pretty high probability of playing out in the direction they're supposed to go, so we'll see on this one. But the target is 31 in this case, and the current buy zone is anywhere from 1150 to roughly about 1470 on this one. And you could, of course, just sell the highs. That's also possible at 80. That could happen any day, so 600% gain. G-Link, anywhere at the EMAs, 76 to about 96 would be a good area to pick some up, in my opinion. 220 for the all-time high up there. For a 200% gain, GSOL, I still think it probably holds the lows here at 20, so anywhere from 16 to maybe about 24 for a potential buy area here, just to give kind of a little bit of leeway in case we get like a wick down or something like that. And then targets anywhere from 80 to about 115 for 637-ish percent. Pretty good, if you ask me. Okay, so 36 to 40 is the buy zone for GXLM until we get above this zone right here, this red box that you see. Once that happens, it's anywhere from 59 to 96 at that point for about 164%. Next one, Mana. Once again, pretty much in between these two white lines here. So $10 going to about $19-20 somewhere in there for potential, just kind of an area to accumulate in. You can see it's gone sideways quite a bit during being in between those two levels there, with the target all the way up at 70 for about 625%. Zcash, so still below structure here, so maybe I would say anywhere from 430 going all the way up to 630. It's a pretty broad range, but again, we are still within this huge accumulation zone right here. If you kind of look out a little bit, you'll see it. So pretty much anywhere from $3 to about $6.25 is kind of where the price has been mostly bobbing around. Pick your poison on that one. So targets would be anywhere from roughly about $8 to 10.5 for 140% gain. And the only reason why I'm saying it's, the current buy zone is not all the way down here at the white line, which of course that could always change, is because the price currently has closes above the EMAs. So it's kind of getting squeezed in between the EMAs and the structure. That's the reason why I mentioned it like I did. So for those of you guys that are wondering what the swing trade strategy is, if you're new to this channel, I will give you an example of it. Okay, so it's very straightforward. We would be looking at the 4-hourly time frame. So there's one of two ways we can do this, okay? We can either wait for the RSI to get as close to oversold as humanly possible on the 4-hourly time frame and position in from that point. That's known as a position trade. And obviously you can see every single time, well, maybe not every single time, but every time it's happened, it's led to some pretty massive upsides. So that would have been 23%. This one back here in November would have been 101%. This one right here would have been pretty sizable, about 37%. And this one right here, if you managed to catch it, looks like it didn't last that long, would have been about 40%. Okay, so you can do that with a position trade, or that's a position trade. Or if you're actually looking to swing trade, again, I would have to remove the 51 because we don't use the 51 for this. 51's more for day trading. I'm pretty sure I've told you guys this. Whereas the 9 and the 21 EMA are more for swing trading. Okay. So the swing trading time frame that we use mainly is just the 4-hour time frame. We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly, but it's the 4-hour that we look for the trigger. Okay. So basically what we're looking for here is the yellow EMA, or sorry, let me take a look at this. Okay, the blue EMA to get above the yellow EMA. So the 9 has to cross above the 21. That's known as the golden cross. That is the trigger right there. We get in and then ride the wave up. Okay, until it hits our profit target or no longer makes sense to be in the trade. In this case, it would have been a 54% gain. And we probably would just pretty much put our stops maybe below this previous swing low, something like that. Same thing here. So get in at the trigger, boom, ride it up. In this case, 21%. Again, it's not a huge gain. It's not a crypto gain, but it's not bad, right? Put the stop below there. You can see not every time has it led to a perfect massive move to the upside, but keep in mind this is always going to look different on different stocks. Not every stock, not every cryptocurrency is going to look the same. I'll give you guys another example of one that I think just recently played out that was actually pretty massive. So here's a stock that we really haven't talked about at all called Fastly. You can see the trigger right here. We wouldn't have got in perfectly at this trigger, but you can see the massive upside here was roughly about 70% gain, okay? With a stop below the low, I mean, if you wanted to use a stop, we don't actually use stops, but if you wanted to use a stop, I mean, the risk here would have been roughly about 15-ish%, but you could have ended up making 70%, right? And as the price moves up, if you put a stop in place, you can always move your stop in, or you can move your stop up with the price once you get into profit to kind of lock in that profit and ensure you're not going to lose money. So that's what I'm referring to when I say the swing trading strategy. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.